Okay. Well, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. Hey, it's Derek Simons with the Cardone Group, and we are here to 10X your Friday. It is 10X Automotive Fridays. We're going to be doing this every Friday at 2 p.m. We've got our Whatever It Takes hat. We've got our 10X logo here on the side. Unfortunately, when I put it on, I disappear. I go into the shadow, so I don't get to wear it today. So know that we got it. Know that we're all about it. Grant let us jump on his YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. This is the Cardone Group. We are automotive specialists. We are coming to you live from sunny Orlando, Florida. And we're going to be talking about greeting today. We're going to be talking about what happens in the greeting and how we can 10X our sales process. This is so that you will have a great weekend. We want to see you guys successful in whatever you do. Got a couple of things up here. I got info@cardonegroup.com. If you got any questions, info@cardonegroup.com, or you can follow us on any of our social media accounts. That's at thecardonegroup.com on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Check us out. Hopefully some of you are following us on the stream. Hopefully some of you are following us live right now on the YouTube channel. So the greeting. You know, it's one of those things. If you go into a store and you tell the salespeople, hey guys, we're going to talk about greeting a customer today. You know how excited they get? Not very. You know why? Because we all know a greeting. We all know the basics of the greeting, and we know how to be successful in it. So let's just take a look at a couple of things in the greeting that we can do to maximize the sales process, because ultimately our goal is pretty simple. We want to get more customers deeper into the process. Today, with the way that the customers are engaging us, whether it's the social media, whether it's online, whether it's on the phone or on the lot, you still have to have a powerful and professional greeting to take that curse off that first part of the contact and to get deeper into the process. So let's grab one of our leading practices library. We've got a bunch of material here over the next 52 weeks, I guess, whatever we're going to be doing. Maybe it's 48 weeks now that we got left in the year, but we're going to be taking a look at some different steps in the process. We're going to go through all the different elements. We're going to look at brand strategy. We're going to look at sales process. We're going to look at service process. We're going to look at all the different elements of operating a successful dealership. We're going to look at how you can have an impact on them right away. So let's just jump right in. Let's take a look at where we're at. Oh, as I'm throwing things all over the place. Let's look at customer expectations. You know, interesting thing about expectations, if we don't know what they are, we don't know how to handle them. Right? If we don't understand from the customer's perspective what's happening and what they think is supposed to be happening, it makes it a little bit more difficult on us. So the first expectation that we know is that the client is expecting to get greeted in a timely manner upon exiting their vehicle. A client expects to be greeted immediately if they walk into the showroom. So what does that mean as far as time-wise? Well, if you look at this, it's going to vary, right? I've been up north in the Northeast, and I've been on the lot, and I've watched a guy get out of his car, look around and go, hey, who wants to wait on me? I've also seen people down in the Southeast where they get out of their car and a salesperson approaches them and they're like, whoa, 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 don't be rushing me. Don't be jumping on me, right? So it's going to depend a little bit on where you are. But the one thing we know beyond a shadow of a doubt is that if that client walks into your showroom, guess what? That's on you. You have to greet them immediately, right? You can't let them wander around the showroom without saying hello. It's absolutely critical that we do that. Second thing that they're expecting is the salesperson is going to be courteous. They want a courteous, they want knowledgeable, they want helpful. So when you look at those traits, it's pretty simple. We're going to greet them warmly. We're going to welcome them to the dealership. We're going to let them know right away that we're going to be of service to them, that we're going to be helpful, and that we're knowledgeable about the products that we're selling. When you think about this for a second, I want you to realize that you are alive and awake more hours in the day at the dealership than you are at home. So welcome them as warmly as you would into the house, right? The third thing that they expect is that they expect that they're going to provide, that we as a salesperson are going to provide the client information. That's what they're after, right? They can get any information that they need online. They can find out anything they want, but ultimately customers rate the actual visit to the dealership higher than any other method for getting information. So when they get there, they're expecting you to provide information. So when you engage them, make sure that you hit all those pieces. We're going to look at how do we put that together in just a second. So what are the key elements? Well, first off, let's offer information up front. We know that if a customer wants to find out about a car, they've probably already done the research. In fact, the latest statistics I saw said that the customer buying a new car spends about 8 hours in research, and a customer buying a used car spends almost 9 hours in research online before they even come into the dealership. So they've got a lot of education, but they still want information. They need specific information about the vehicles that you have in stock. They need specific information about the deal that you can provide them, and they really need to touch, feel, and drive that car to make sure that they understand what they're getting into. So we need to offer that information up front. Think about it from this standpoint. How many times have you gone to a website and you were looking for something, and when you got there, they didn't have the information you needed? What'd you do? You clicked off and you went to the next website. Don't let that be the experience the customer gets from your greeting. We want them to understand that we're going to be the information provider that's going to get them all the information they need to make a well-informed decision. It's simple and it's easy, and we can keep this process moving forward. So I got somebody that says hi on YouTube on Grant's channel. Hello back to you. Thanks for joining us. We want to initiate client-sensitive issues. Now, what are those? Well, it could be anything. It could be price. It could be a trade-in. It could be down payment, monthly payments. It could be current incentives. It could be information in regards to the warranty. We don't necessarily know what the client-sensitive issues are going to be for that individual client, but what we do know is that when we initiate them, we take away the client's ability to circle back around after us later and ask for that information and use it against us. So we want to be up ahead of that. We want to be aggressive in how we present this information to the customer. And then the next thing is that we want pricing to 100% of our customers. I want you to think about this for a second. We just got done in the car business. We just got done with an end of the month, right? We all scrambled. We all pushed hard those last 3 days of the month, right? When we look at what happens in the sales process and in the automobile industry, we know those last 3 days, they're intense, right? And we write up as many people as we can because we know that ultimately, the more people we can get to figures, the more people we can sell a vehicle to, right? So our goal in that greeting is to put the customer at ease so that we can get them logically into the write-up. Now, one of the things that we do here at the Cardone Group is we have a litmus test. And what we do is we ask dealers one simple question about their process, right? Could you advertise it, right? And when we do that, the reason that we ask that question is because the behavior that we have, we want to set it up so that every single engagement with the customer is powerful and professional, and it adds value to what ends up being the negotiation experience. So, could we advertise our greeting if we walked up to a customer and said, hey, you buying a car today, right? Hey, come into the dealership. We're going to ask you if you're buying a car today. No, we wouldn't do that, right? So we don't need to do that with the customer. Now let's look at the other part of that. How can we be guaranteed to get customers to go to the write-up, right? It all comes from using that information to get them deeper in the process. And that's our goal. We want to make sure that our approach at the greeting allows us to seamlessly transition into the next step, and then ultimately into the write-up. Because we know the more people we write up, the more cars we're going to deliver. So, I think we can all agree it's pretty simple. Greet the customer, we're going to be warm, we're going to agree with them, and we're going to move in the direction that we need to go. I'm going to get rid of this hat for a second, even though we are 10xing your sales process right now. And we're going to look at some things that are required, right? So the first thing that you got to have a great attitude. Okay, you have to have a great attitude when you are out there and you are talking to the customer. Now, attitude's hard sometimes, right? We are in a tough business, right? Our industry is dynamic. There is high pressure to perform, and sometimes the month might not be going so well, and we might have a manager that just said, hey, what is wrong with you, Simons? What is happening? You haven't sold a car in 5 days. What's wrong with you? And you're just like, oh. And then the next breath, they say, oh, look, there's a guy out there on the lot. Are we self-serve? Who's going to wait on him? You, get out there. And so now you walk out there, right? What's your attitude like when you get out there? You're like, ah, right? So we have to have that good attitude. We have to make sure that we protect our attitude and that every single time we engage a customer that we start from the right place. We have to be 100% committed to the task at hand. What does that mean? That means when I walk out, I have to be thinking about one thing and one thing only, and that's that customer. I'm not thinking about my wife, I'm not thinking about my bills, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do to help get this customer deeper into the process so I can ask them to buy. Pretty simple, but it's important. We have to have a sincere appreciation for the client's presence, right? They are the single most valuable commodity that I have. There's nothing worth more to me right now. When I walk out and I walk out onto that lot and I see that customer, what I need to know is that they are my opportunity to make a paycheck, right? That's not a negative thing. That's a real thing. We need to acknowledge that, and we need to know that that's a whole lot better than talking to Vinny over here at the sidewalk and saying, man, I ain't sold a car in 3 days, right? That customer is why I'm here. We need to know exactly what we're going to say at first contact with our client. Doesn't mean that we need to be a machine. Doesn't mean that we need to be a robot. Doesn't mean that we need to say the same thing over and over and over again. It means that we need to know what we're going to say though, because a professional knows what words they're going to use. And it's going to put you in a position where you become more comfortable with your greeting, right? We need to be prepared for common client objections. Now let's talk about that for a second. There is a finite amount of things that a customer can say to you in the greeting, right? We know that. So one of the things that I will challenge you to do is to record the objections that you hear from your customers. We call it an objection log. So write down what the customers are saying, right? We still have customers that say, I'm not buying today. We still have customers that are saying, I'm just shopping for the best price. So if that's what's happening in your store and in your market, you need to be prepared to handle them, right? And the only way we can do that, and the way to be professional, is to actually record those and then drill with your partner. We need to make a service statement that outlines what we wish to provide for our client. Now, I bet everybody here's had some dental work done, right? You go in to see the dentist, it's not the best thing in the world. And so now you're in to see the dentist and you're sitting in that dentist chair and he's got to do some work on your teeth. What's he say? What does he do? He actually talks you through every step of the process. This isn't something where it's just, hey, open your mouth and starts drilling. No, he says, hey, here's what we got to do. We're going to give you a little shot. You might feel a pinch. It's going to take about 3 to 5 minutes, numb you up, and then I'm going to come back. And when I come back, I'm going to do a little drilling. Going to get that cavity taken care of. We'll fill that tooth. We'll have you out of here in just a few minutes. When he comes back, he says, hey, look, I'm going to start doing that drilling now. Let's go ahead and open your mouth, and you might see some smoke. You might smell some smoke, but it's okay, right? You're numbed up, boom, ready to go. But he talks you through every step of the way. Sometimes I feel like in the car business, we try and hide what we're going to do. What's wrong with telling the customer, hey, nice to meet you, glad that you're here, I'm gonna get you all the information you need. Before you leave, I'll give you price, down payment, monthly payment figures on your car, right? We'll do all of that for you, no matter what. In fact, I'm gonna start with your car. I'm gonna save you probably 15, 20, 30 minutes worth of time. We'll get your car professionally appraised while we're out looking at the next vehicle. We'll go out and find one that you like, and we'll come back and I'll show you how easy it is to do business here. There's nothing wrong with that. That engages the customer, lets them know what's happening, and puts us in a position where we're actually controlling the transaction instead of chasing along behind the customer. We want to take an approach that's direct and to the point. One of the things that we hear a lot, we hear people say, oh, hey, you got to go get a rapport with that guy, right? I heard Grant talking about it. You know, when you're selling a car to somebody, they didn't come there because they were looking for a friend. They came there to get the information they need, to drive the vehicle, to take it home. They didn't come there because they were trying to find a buddy, right? So our rapport, we believe that the best rapport that you can have is a direct approach that provides them the information they need so that they can see you as a professional. When they see you as a professional, it's easier to do the transaction. So that direct approach doesn't mean that we don't build value in us and in the dealership, right? In the experience. It means that we are direct in telling them we're going to provide them the information they need so that we can get them to the next step. We need to make eye contact. We need to continue to smile. Now, I've actually got 3 cameras going on because we're live on a whole bunch of different platforms. So I keep looking at the different cameras, right? And hopefully I'm still smiling. But the reality is when we're talking to a customer, you need to look them in the eye, right? You need to smile. You need to be happy that they're here because like I said earlier, well, you're going to be sitting over the side smoking and joking with Vinny talking about, hey man, I ain't sold a car in 3 days. No, this customer, this is the reason that you're here today, right? This is your opportunity. Statistically, we know this. If they show up at the dealership, the average customer today, as of 2017, is only shopping 1.2 to 1.6 dealerships. Think about that for a second. That means you probably got about a 60% chance of closing the deal if you don't screw it up. So how do we ensure that? We have to get off to the right start, right? We have to set the expectations right up front. I'm gonna provide you information. I'm gonna be of service to you. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna take care of your automotive needs. I'm there for you, right? And then ultimately, we have to get to the next step in our process. Well, the next step for us is that needs assessment, that we do it around the customer's present vehicle. Now, we'll talk about that some next Friday because we're gonna go through this kind of step by step. Now, we're gonna be saving these and archiving them. You guys can come back and check them out. But ultimately, I want you to think about this. When we greet a customer, what do you need to do? You need to be passionate. You need to believe in yourself. You need to be 100% committed in your process, in yourself. You need to be happy that the customer's there. You need to have the right attitude, and you need to head on out. You need to talk to the customer. So, with that said, let's look at what a really basic greeting would sound like. Welcome to the dealership. Anybody gonna have any problem with that? No. There's not a customer out there that would have an issue if you say, welcome to the dealership. Welcome to the dealership. Welcome to ABC Motors, right? My name's Derek Simons. I'm glad that you're here. And I truly am. I have to be happy that they're there. That's one of the ultimate things that we were just talking about. Welcome to the dealership. My name's Derek Simons. I'm glad you're here. The next part is we want to transition into that information providing. What vehicle can I get you information on today? Right? We're asking them the question because we're engaging that buyer and we're letting them know that we're going to be of service. We're going to provide them that information. Remember, they've already done the research. They've done between 8 and 9 hours worth of research. They visited 4 third-party websites, they've gone to 3 OEM websites, and they've gone to 3 dealership websites. They've already shopped online, and now they're physically here standing in front of you. This is your opportunity. Welcome to the dealership. My name's Derek. What vehicle can I get you information on today? Oh, you're looking for a What's It Mobile? Fantastic choice. We've got a great selection of What's It Mobiles. The What's It Mobiles are all parked right over here. I'll be more than happy to help you find the one that's right for you and your family, right? What am I doing? I'm acknowledging their selection, letting them know it's a great choice, and then telling them I'm still gonna be of service. And before you leave, I'm gonna get you the price on that What's It Mobile. I'll get you estimates on down payment, monthly payment. I'll even get you estimates on the vehicle you're driving today. How's that sound, Mr. Customer? I'm asking for that permission statement to proceed, right? How's that sound, Mr. Customer? They're gonna say, that's great, that's why we're here. Because ultimately, what do they need from you? They need to know how they can buy the vehicle. They need to know what they're going to pay you. They need to know more information about the car that you have. But they know that before they leave, they need that information. So I want to tell them, hey, before you leave, I'm going to get your price, estimates of down payment, monthly payment, even figures on the car you're driving today. How does that sound? That sounds great. Well, they just gave you permission to go to the next step. And ultimately, that's what every step of the sales process is. I don't care what process you do, you have to transition to the next step. So how did we do it? It was simple, it's easy, and we told them where we were headed, right? Welcome to the dealership. My name's Derek. What vehicle can I get you information on? Excellent choice. We got a great selection of those. My job's simple, help you find the ones right for you and your family. And then before you leave, I'll get you a price, estimates on down payment, monthly payment, even figures on the car you're driving today. How's that sound? That's as simple as it gets. And we've got a customer that just agreed to go through the sales process with us because we provided them information up front. Now I want you to think about this for a second. When I say before you leave, right, what's the customer here, right? It's time and distance. They're thinking, hey, I'm out of here. Poof. I can evaporate. I don't have to buy a car. That's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to give them figures and then I'm going to ask them to buy. The only place that we can ask a customer to purchase is when we lay a worksheet down in front of them and say, hey, sign here and I'll get your car cleaned and ready for immediate delivery. I can't do that anywhere else. I need to get to there, right? How do I get to there? Well, I need to do the steps to the sale so that I can get to there. So, welcome to the dealership. My name's Derek. Vehicle you're interested in, excellent choice. Got a great selection of those. Help you find the one that's right for you and your family. And then when you're ready, I'll give you the price, estimates on down payment, monthly payment, even figures on the car you're driving today. How's that sound, Mr. Customer? Great? Fantastic. Boom. And then I'm going to make my transition statement to the next step. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week. But we want to look at this one more time. How does that help us gain write-ups? What's the point there that gets us to a position where that helps us gain write-ups? Well, it's pretty simple. When I say to them, how does that sound, Mr. Customer? And he says, yes, that's exactly why I'm here. Guess what they just agreed to do? They agreed to go to a write-up. Now, we've looked at CRMs all across the country for dealerships, luxury, import, domestic, and you know what we find? Every single dealership we look in, they have about a 50% to 60% closing ratio of customers they write up. Think about that. If you can get that customer to a write-up, you got a 50 to 60% chance you're going to deliver the car that day. That's pretty good odds. Right? That's what we want. We want to increase those odds. So what did I do? I got a customer that's willingly agreed to go to a write-up because that's the only place I'm going to show them those figures is in the write-up. So this greeting is designed to put the buyer at ease, right? They're going to be more comfortable when they're talking to us like that. They're going to be much more comfortable. So we want to put them at ease. We want to make it easy for them to get deeper into the process. We want to let the customer know that we're willing to provide them all the information. I'm telling you, we don't know what information they're going to need to make that decision. They might need to know about the warranty. They might have a problem with their credit, right? They might need information about their trade. We're not sure what it is, but we need to offer to get them whatever information it is, and we need to tell them the 4 things that we know they're sensitive to. Price, down payment, monthly payment, figures on the current vehicle. It's that simple. You initiate those buyer-sensitive issues, and it's going to take you to the next level, okay? Now, the last thing, I want you to think about this, and I want you to think about this as you go into the weekend, right? I want you to focus on writing up 100% of the customers you talk to. Now, to write up 100% of the customers, guess what you got to do? You got to do 100% greeting. You got to do 100% needs assessment. You got to do 100% selection and demo. You got to do 100% trial close, right? You can't get 100% write up by skipping the steps early in the process. But I want you and your management team to commit to that this weekend, because if you do, guess what's going to happen? It's going to produce more results for you. It's the beginning of the month. This is one of those periods in the car business that's always a challenge. I want you to think about that. Today we're recording this, it's February 2nd, I think it is. We just got done pushing for January. I saw a lot of big numbers from our clients in January. Don't get a slow start. Let's get out there and focus on writing up 100% of our customers, and let's really make sure that we're maximizing every engagement that we have. Ultimately, we know you got to do whatever it takes. You got to 10x your sales process. Now, a couple things for you. We've got a bunch of stuff that we're going to be giving out over the next 12 months. We're going to be pushing out some free assessments that you can actually go to our website and you can take an assessment, and then one of our performance coaches will jump on a call with you and tell you what they see in any leading practices that you could implement to increase your sales right away. Now we're going to do that for service, we're going to do it for sales, we're going to do it for advertising. Today, what I want you to do, at the Cardone Group, that's our social sites, right? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. But if you go to our Facebook page, when we get done with this video, we're going to toss a link up there, and your managers can go to that link and it'll give them a free retail process assessment. When you do that free retail process assessment, we're going to have one of our performance coaches call back to you and they'll run through it with you. And it'll take about 15 to 20 minutes, and they'll talk about what they saw and what they learned in your retail process assessment and provide you any leading practices that we have that can help support you. Now, we want you to 10x your process. If you got questions about advertising or brand strategy or sales or service process, reach out to us. You can get us at info@cardonegroup.com. You can get us at any of the social sites. You can even do it the old-fashioned way and call us if you want, right? So anything that we can do to help you out in your journey to be successful, we want to do it. We want to help you 10x your process. Really appreciate the time today. I'm going to just check and see if there's any questions that I need to answer before I jump off, but let me just check here real quick. Oh, we got people that are saying nice things. Well, that's nice. I don't see any questions right there, and I don't have all the information in front of me, so I can't tell you I have everything. If I missed a question when I'm looking through the feed afterwards, we'll make sure to answer it and get out to you. At thecardonegroup.com, hit our Facebook page. We'll have that link up momentarily. You can go take that free retail process assessment. I think you'll be surprised when you do it, because it's really going to open your eyes. We'll give you some leading practices. Any questions, hit us up at info@cardonegroup.com or call us 800-551-9020. I'm Derek Simons, Automotive Fridays. I'll see you next week. 10X your weekend.